this is Oats,
Hey, this is Al.
and welcome to You're That Guy. It's like we're in the mafia. You know what's the movies with the Godfather? You know, they keep pulling you back in. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're back again, and we're gonna stay back.
What Oats is referring to, it's been a while since we've done one of these. And he and I have been chatting on the side a little bit, and a lot of people were answering emails on YourThatGuy.com. So please keep them coming. Like you got stuff right here, like we said, a lot of list of questions and emails.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is, I think everything is that one, hey, we're back. I do a lot of traveling. I've been told July 2nd I get measured for my new tooth.
Yeah, you need to get measured for your new tooth. You need to get measured for your attitude too.
Yeah, I got a new shirt from Buc-ee's when I was down in Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
and Alaska's still cold with mosquitoes.
Hell yeah.
But hey, we wanted to jump back on here because I think there's a lot of things happening in our country and a lot of good things.
A lot of things, locally.
Yeah.
You know, that are really starting to pop up, and I think that's going to really take our attention for a little bit. Anyway,
Yeah.
you know, at least I would say that.
But before we get into those, I just want to give a shout out to President Trump because we did do the Iran and the United States a peace deal. It's kind of holding right now. Lebanon and Hezbollah and Israel, they kind of exchanged fires last night. So
I don't think that's going to work. My personal opinion, I think that Iran's just going to push it out, try to push it out, and Trump's going to do Trump, and he's going to just
that's what somebody
take
said.
care of that shit.
I was very surprised to see Ted Cruz come out against the deal, like you were saying. You know,
Really?
Yeah, he came out and was making some comments. But you know, everybody's going to have likes and dislikes, right? And you ain't ever going to get the perfect deal. But at least we're starting, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's like anything else. When Trump tries to do something like the reflecting pond.
That's a bullshit. You know, I can't believe that they're trying to sabotage that in every way. Yeah. You know, you see all in the little Facebook feeds and little news medias here and there that Trump was wrong and it was better off the way it was. You know.
Oates is right. There was this I watched before coming on this here today. I watched arrest of two individuals.
Yeah.
That one cut the hose of them trying to fix the reflecting pond, and the other pulled the hose out of the water. And I'm like, what are you guys doing?
I think Trump needs to come out and say, we need to pass a right that you need to breathe, so that some of these other people just stop breathing altogether.
But the other thing too is that that's concerning is the Save America Act.
Yes.
Because with a lot of tension has been on the Iran deal, but what has happened back here, the Senate Majority Leader Thune has basically came out and said,
need to get rid of his ass.
Yeah, and there's some talk on the floor that they're going to bring in Vice President J.D. Vance to replace him as the leader to pass the Save America Act, because you've got our own North Carolina senator who represent our state, Tom Tillis.
Yeah, what a useless is on a man.
He voted against it. And what does Tom have against a person showing ID? Because our state requires it.
Yeah, I don't understand. He just thinks that it's a racial thing or whatever it may be. I don't know. He's just playing for future when he gets out of politics. Well, I think, because I think he's going to wind up on CNN or some shit as a anchor.
He's like John Cornyn. He's leaving. Yeah. They've got a vendetta against Trump. Trump saved his re-election campaign 4 years ago to get him re-elected, and this is how he pays him. I'm glad to see Tillis leave. He can't leave soon enough for me.
I really think, and I seen a news feed, not a news feed, but a TikTok feed and all that there about one of the senators was saying, bring in J.D. Vance, have him take over,
right?
That everything.
But you still have an issue with Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and also John.
Well, they're
Cornyn,
in trouble too, though, aren't they?
And Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's on the way out. John Cornyn from Texas on the way out. Susan Collins going to need Donald Trump's support because she's running against a Nazi up in Maine.
Oh yeah.
And Lisa Murkowski, it's that voting system in Alaska is hideous.
Yeah.
But that's all on a national level, and we just want to mention that before we got into some of the local stuff, because I do want to do a shout out to Senator Mike Lazaro. He championed the SB Bill 1080. Okay, and what does that mean? Basically, all the local municipalities here in North Carolina, there's 100 counties, right? And they all have a state budget that they got to pass. Okay, to provide services to their county. Well, our county's no different.
Yeah, our county commissioners kind of let it slip out that they were kind of a little pissed about it. You know, they didn't like the idea of all this, and they started threatening, well, we'll have to cut these services down. But we'll get into it a little bit more deeper, because there's a lot behind the curtain that they don't want us to know.
We just recently found out about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this could be a boom. You know what I mean? We'll see.
And the other local thing that's happening within Onslow County is more in the city of Jacksonville is the ward fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that is on this. If you want to level things out, you take away the districts and the wards, right? Just like a county commissioner, they represent the entire county.
Yep.
And if you're voting and the city of Jacksonville, and it affects everybody, you should go and have your election represent everybody in Jacksonville, just not a certain section. So I'm hoping that SB 1038 passes here, and they'll give it approval to do away with the ward system.
Well, that 1038 is, okay. All right, yeah.
SB 1080 is the money.
Yeah.
So I hope 1038 gets resolved at our next town council in Jacksonville, that it says, hey, you know what? We're going to pass it. No more ward system.
Yeah, but the city, they're going to play that mentality. They're going to be persuaded. They're going to screw it up.
People, because you got an R behind your name, doesn't mean you're Republican.
They're going to screw it up. They're Republicrats. I don't care what anybody says. They're the ones that show up at the meeting. When they need to vote or something like that. They're nothing more.
I need your voice behind me, and you only see him at a time when it comes around election time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
when's the last time you seen your politician?
When's the last time you seen your
elected
precinct chair?
Yeah.
Your county commissioner, your school board member, your town council member, your mayor, and the chairman at these meetings.
Yep.
You have. You see a few regular. I watch a lot. I got to give props out to Lord Eptola.
Oh yeah. She's putting it on Facebook. And
she's putting it on Facebook, and it helps me because I travel a lot.
Yeah.
I watch all the county commissioners meetings, and just to sit and just keep up the local politics.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
I don't want to keep up the local politics. Sometimes I just want to keep.
Well, it's like you said earlier, I've taken a back seat to politics, but just like Oats says earlier. You think you got everything, and then you see something stupid, and then they draw you back in.
Yeah, it's not a matter, speaking out, or being pushed to speak out.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to at this point.
Well,
it's gotten to the point where you see so much lies being thrown out there from our local officials. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to bring up an incident.
Yeah, we'll start getting into it.
And guys, this is all local. I know you're going to listen to this, but this is mainly for.
Yeah, but this is all over though.
It happens.
It's the same thing all over again. Once they open their mouth, they try to tell you something, but they don't tell you everything. Where's the transparency? There is no transparency. They just. Look at politicians.
I disagree with Oats because I'm going to bring up.
You're
something.
full of shit. You disagree with it.
I called Oats, and Oats was like, kind of speaking angry, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, what did I do?" He goes, "Not you."
Yeah, it's him.
Okay.
It's like, always him.
I go, "What's up?" He goes, "Well, somebody posted something and they took it down."
Yeah.
I go, well, hold on to that. I want him to share this on this podcast.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's me getting old or what, because that person came back and denied that they had put it up and took it down. But something looks, did you ever see something and all of a sudden, wait a minute, like if you're looking right now and you see Al with his, his shirt on, his patriotic shirt, it looks red,
American
white,
250,
red, white, and blue. But a second ago you seen a Russian flag on there. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, boom, right back. Your mind kind of slips, but I believe it happened. Where somebody was posting stuff on Facebook and they were, speaking for the local. Commission and all that stuff there, and then turned around and changed, about cutting services for the county because of the
SB 1080.
SB 1080. So it's
folks, Onslow County
We got a brain dump for
commissioned.
you. We got a brain dump for you today.
The board commissioners has submitted their 2027 budget.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm looking at the book.
This
He
is
has
it right there. We both have copies. We sat down with quite a few people who
Concerned citizens.
Yes, very concerned citizens who took us through line by line and pointing out a lot of things. You know what I mean? So
The proposed fiscal year 27 budget is $321,917,779.
that's a lot of money.
And they were proposing that one of the commissioners says, "Hey, we lowered your property taxes," and we're like,
I don't
really?
know.
So last year, I believe it was 0.62 on every $100 listed on your property tax.
Yeah.
Well, the proposed budget would have dropped that down to 0.55. So it's a shell game.
Yeah.
I'm going to lower your property taxes on the money, but I'm going to increase your value to replace the money that I lowered to replace the money that I need to propose on this budget. If that makes sense. So my house last year at 0.62 was at 201,000. Fair enough, right? Money's going up. But again, we understand that that's unrealized capital gain.
We should be paying property tax, period.
Exactly.
But that's beside the point. Yeah,
But
we got to
this
fight
year-
what battle we have
yeah.
in front of us.
But this year,
Oh, yeah.
it came out at 0.055, but at 270,000. So you see the increase in property value to make up for that 7 cents.
Oh, we're going to lower your taxes,
Yeah.
but we're going to say the value is way up here. Yeah. Oh,
Another
yeah,
arbitrary amount
yeah.
just to make
It's
sure
a
that
shell
the budget,
game.
a
It's
shell
all
game.
shell game. But I tell you, let me get something in before I want to piss you off. I want you to think about this, okay? Onslow County's budget, like you said, it's $321 million and some change and all that there. But do you know that they're sitting on 100 and I estimated it at 169. Other people are estimated at 189 million dollars in a slush fund. A slush fund for rainy days. People call it a rainy day fund. 168. I'm underestimating. 168 million dollars that they're sitting on. That it's just arbitrarily sitting out there. They say, well, not they, but the state only requires them to have 8% for a rainy day fund. In case a hurricane comes or any kind of disasters, they got money to take care of it. So let's look at 8% of the budget, roughly, what is that, $26 million.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sitting on a slush fund of a little over 142 million, according to us, looking at the budget, looking at everything. They're sitting on $148 million just out there. So why are we accumulating all this money when we're only required to have at least just $26 million, maybe, to accommodate any storms or anything that may hit us, because they're going to use that money and the state's going to pay us back. So they have that money should that happen.
So
But
you're
yet
saying
they're-
that 26 million is 8% required by the state to have?
Yes, and
Okay.
we're sitting on an additional 142 million that's just sitting out there. And they, it's like a favoritism, hey, it gives them the opportunity to use it, to show favors for anything at that point, And there's a lot of favors in this budget. I want you to know that, just to add a few. My question, what were you going to say there? I see you looking at.
Well, this is right in the front of the book that we have. It goes, the revenues. So out of every dollar, 49% come from property taxes, 9 cents come from federal, 2 cents come to the state, 3 cents miscellaneous, and other taxes and fees are $39, or 39 cents, excuse me. So that, again, that is our...
Well, how much is going into the slush fund?
That's it. Well, this is the proposed revenue, right, that we get. Now, the proposed expenditures out of every dollar is 9 cents goes to general government, 30 cents go to public safety, 1 cent goes to economic and physical development, 20 cents goes to human services, 36 cents goes to education, 3 cents goes to culture and recreation, and 1 cent goes to transfer, environment, and transportation, leaving us 10 cents to play with. So,
let's add to that $168 million in the slush fund that would be easily used to cut our taxes, to cut anything, but it's just sitting out there.
But we sat down yesterday with an individual who has pretty good knowledge of the budget.
Well,
and Oats asked him a lot of questions. This is what he came up with.
Yeah. Here's some things that your money's going to, just so you know. Wilmington Area Rebuilding Ministry, $15,000.
Wilmington's outside the county line.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Why are we sending money to Wilmington? North Carolina Symphony Society, $3,500. Okay. Philippines Place, $10,000.
What is it?
I have no idea. It's outside of the county, whatever it is. You got Share a Table, $12,500. Is that helping you in the county anyway?
No, it's Share a Table is 20,000.
No. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. 12. Yep.
In Sturgeon City, we're giving 45,000. But how many of those organizations are private?
Private. Here we go.
The P's over on your side?
Yeah, okay. So Share a Table's private. Salvage Life is private. Susu Refuge, whatever the hell that is private.
How about a feline rescue and ferry? I thought the county already had an animal shelter, and we're giving out $1,200 for that.
Oh, yeah.
I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add all this up, folks, it adds up to that $322 million budget.
Jacksonville Onslow Sports Commission, $100,000 for a sports commission. What the hell? Who's on that board? I'd like to know who's on that board. I wonder what kind of favors are given for that there. Swansboro Rotary. Swansboro has a great, a lot of things for their people.
But it was shared yesterday that most of the municipality does not work in conjunction with the county, like hand in hand.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a power struggle. And I understand each municipality has their own projects and stuff they want to get done. They don't want to give up. But if we could work together and cut our costs and help the citizens of Onslow County, I think we should take that direction.
Yeah. Filipino American Chamber of Commerce of North Carolina. Why are we giving money there? A
lot of money, folks.
Yeah. To me, looking at the Rotaries, let's just look at the Rotaries. Sneads Ferry Rotary, Town of Swansboro.
Swansboro Rotary.
Yep.
Sneads Ferry Rotary.
So what about all the other organizations that are private? Why aren't we giving money to them? But it's not what you know, it's who you know. You remember that old analogy. We're spending a lot of money on a lot of different things, but what are they bringing into this community? The only thing that I see that will bring a wealth into this community and keep money here is the museum, the new museum that just opened up. It's
an attraction. You got camping. One of the biggest bases around.
Oh yeah. So why are we so stingy there? But yet we're giving all this other money to all these other places. I want to know where they're going with 168. People are saying $189 million in the slush fund. Why are we sitting on that and not doing anything that we should be doing?
But we also should clarify that most of the things that we are mentioning right now are non-profits, all right? The 501c3, okay? And the total amount that the budget has, the 27 fiscal year budget has proposed, is $1,061,590. That's a lot of money going for non-profits. And the biggest thing of that is $969 going for tourism. Onslow tourism has ticked up and people are starting to come. But like Oates said, the Marine Museum, that's a no-brainer.
Well, hell, the sheriff's department's a no-brainer too.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not giving them a whole lot of money. I mean, they have to go down big bar and steal from them. You know, I mean, the sheriffs do, schools do. You know, I'm still PO'd that. You know, they gave the school board gave a few budgets back $3 million to build a pool, and then the county gave $3 million to get a pool. Well, the county commissioner mentality was, well, if they default, we'll get it back. We'll own it. You know,
County has historically owned a lot of properties. Like,
yeah. Oh, no, let's not talk about owning property. Little man will get mad. You know what I mean? You don't want that. You know.
One of the biggest things is I want to play a game with Oats.
And the longest running.
Yeah.
It's been the longest running for a very long time, and it keeps popping back up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know.
We actually went out there yesterday.
Yeah, and I'll post some pictures right here. You know.
And we have a email that says, "Hey,
what
you're that guy."
Oh yeah.
Email and says, "I hope you're having a great week. I'm writing to share some for your new podcast because they heard that we have it." And one of the topics came up was facility development and transparency.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask Oats a series of questions, and he can answer.
You don't want to
for
get
you.
me started,
Okay.
please. Come on now.
So the first question is land acquisition and site selection. Why did the county purchase new property for this facility instead of utilizing existing assets like Burton Park or Onslow County Heinz Parks and Stables? What are we talking about?
Well, that's probably favoritism. I mean,
The new indoor rec facility.
Oh yeah. What a joke.
Who's building it? Why do we buy the land? Have we already?
And who do we buy the land from?
Yes. Who did we buy the land from? I have that name in my notes, but I don't want to put it out there right now. But yes, we bought it. Somebody was saying it was a ridiculous amount of money right next to the redevelopment of the senior citizens area.
Yeah,
And
but
that
it's only
land-
going to be it's not going to be for all of Onslow County, though. I heard it was only going to be for the Onslow County employees.
That is
gym.
still out for
Yeah,
determination.
Yeah, the gym,
Yeah,
per se.
and because it's.
But why are we building it there when we sure as hell could, utilize the land that was, in Heinz Farm?
Well,
That was the biggest thing. We're going to use Heinz Farm for this.
Here's some
they
other.
used it for anything yet.
Here's some other questions. Of that new building, will the general public have full access to these new facilities? And are the proposed membership requirements or admission fees attached with that new building?
Well, that's going to kill a lot of gyms that, privately owned gyms and all that stuff around if we're
Wait a
going to do
minute.
this for
so
nothing.
you're saying that the government is competing with private sector?
I think so. That's the way they're projecting it. I mean, we're going to build a new gym.
So are we saying
we're
that
going to, indoors facility.
if it's an indoor facility, is it going to be free to the public?
Yeah.
Or is it
just like the pool? You know what
just
I mean?
like he mentioned earlier, is it only for county employees? And that's a lot of money.
Yep.
Transparent and voting.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I like this one that was written. On this same indoor facility, why was the decision to build this indoor rec center not put on a countywide ballot and let the residents vote for it?
Oh no, it's all in house, man. It's not what you know; it's who you know.
And
That's the way it's
then
playing.
a little bird shared with us.
Oh, Big Bird.
Yeah.
I'd say Big Bird.
How do you respond to the concern this is a pet project of an outgoing commissioner
Oh yeah, I believe it.
for the legacy?
Yeah, they're trying to build legacies now.
Well, you got to ask yourself, why buy Heinz Farm? We were out there yesterday. The fishing ponds are drying up.
Yeah.
That bald eagle had a fish in his claw.
Oh yeah,
It
I
was
seen
flying
that.
away.
First time I seen a bald eagle in Onslow County. Beautiful.
Yeah. And we went out and saw the new playground. It was $780,000.
Yep, $787,750. Look at this playground.
Yeah. And if you look
Look
at
at
the
this
picture,
playground.
look to the right,
Oh yeah.
and you'll see 3. Oh my God, 3 porta potties.
They paid. Hold up.
$200,000.
Heinz Farm public use bathrooms, $220,000. Now is that a constant, price each year? You know what I mean? $220,000 for porta potties. Where's a permanent structure? I heard that the bathrooms they had out there will not even perk for the bathrooms.
Wow.
That was back years ago when they were talking about Heinz Farm. Why the hell we buy Heinz Farm anyway? You still got horses out there. I heard that the contract kind of went sideways. There
was a family,
but there were still horses out there.
Yeah, there was a family out there at Heinz Park. The gentleman actually was using a porta potty, and he saw all the new equipment, and he goes, "Wow, this is great! Hey, and it looked good. Don't get me wrong, the nice rubber.
Oh yeah, it looked nice. I
mean, brand new equipment. And you had 2 of the awnings.
Yeah,
but you had 3 porta potties, not just toilets, but plastic porta potties. And off to the left, you had some construction. I'm hoping that's the new $220,000 bathrooms are being built.
Well, no, according to this here, if you look at the budget, it's already there somewhat.
We didn't see that. I think
it didn't say the balance. There's nothing due, so it's already paid for.
But basically, I think what we were shared with yesterday, that is a porta potty that goes to events put on by the county. And right now, it's sitting down there by the CDC.
Tell me how many events they had out at Heinz Farm.
I don't know.
I haven't heard of anything out at Heinz Farm other than the county commission moaning and groaning. Leave Heinz Farm alone. Yeah, it's there. I'm tired of hearing about it.
Here's the other question that came up in a discussion was, what data or studies are used to determine an indoor recreation center provides greater community benefit than alternative developments, such as outdoor multi-soccer and baseball fields?
Yeah.
You can do one soccer tournament here in Onslow County and generate more revenue than you can an indoor basketball tournament.
Yeah.
And we already have Commons, which indoor rec facility. Well, I know we need it, but we need to have a large amount. But if the county's going to pay for it, how the county's going to get that money back?
We got the land for it, Heinz Farm. But the question is that land safe? Because they never did an environmental impact study on that. They bought it,
people
paid money for it, but they never ever did an environmental impact study on it.
Well, people will argue the fact that they did, and I'm going because I remember Commissioner Mark Price who caught the bass. They go, "Look, the fish are edible." I'm like,
"Well, anyway. You could eat it. It's like here's poison water. Taste it. Smell this. This smells like yeah." Nah.
Here's a question that came up from the family that was out there. And I kind of reworded their question because they were straight to the point. Is there a way that the public can find out a profit and loss margin of Heinz Farm?
Yeah.
And I kind of worded it different. I'm like, well, you can always go to the public office there at Burton Park and request, like a FOIA request. Because historically, trying to get documents from the county has been like pulling teeth. And I need a tooth, by the way.
It's called it's show game. Let's move it around. Let's not give them a whole lot of information. We don't want the public to know what we're doing behind your back.
Along with that $80,000 was it?
Mm-hmm.
For the park. You only have 18 parking spots and 2 handicaps. For that park to spend that kind of money, because one, it costs the taxpayer $1.25 million to buy the farm itself, which is broken down into 2 parcels, which a lot of that is already considered wetlands. Okay. And then you have a horse stable that takes back the back area. Now they do have a walking trail they put in there. And they have several cabins, I think up to 9 cabins. And then they have a wedding venue out there that you can't have alcohol on.
Yeah. How many weddings have we had out there? And do they have bathrooms for that? And are those bathrooms in a septic system or whatever it may be? Because I don't think there is.
But see, that's what was so funny when we left. We noticed that when we came in, they're counting people that come to Heinz Park.
Yeah.
And we're like...
Now, does that include the amount of traffic? From my understanding, the majority of the traffic going to and from Heinz Farm is county vehicles.
Well, I don't...
I just got that from the birdie, you know what I mean? And the majority of the traffic going to and from. But let's go back to Heinz Farm again. We just spent, if you add up the bathrooms and the playground, you spent over $1 million.
But we had already
You spent $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, and then here's the thing about it. It's hard to get to. I don't care what anybody says. You get lost going to it, and when you get to the sign, you're like, okay, do I go to the right? Do I go to the left? Where's this thing at? Because you see houses right there, you know, that you would assume that that's their property, and you're going on their driveway. So Heinz Farm has been the biggest thorn, and it is still the biggest thorn in Onslow County.
Not if you owned it and sold it.
Well, that's true too. You know what I mean? The question is, how far back can we go, you know, with that, you know?
Well, you know, little research.
I heard that was a favor.
Don't know.
Yeah, I'll say it. I don't have a problem.
But if it was the county that buying 2 parcel of lands and 20% of it is wetlands, and you had a horse stable out there that, you know, and they're like, hey, how many horse parties do you see out there? Can the private citizens board their horses out there?
Yeah.
Is the county making any money? The family that was out there was asking, when we said, hey, how much we asked the initial price of Heinz Farm, they were like, really? Nobody's ever out here.
Yeah.
And there was nobody there that we were there except for that family. And they were just, I think it was a drop off with the mom and dad with the kid.
Yeah, let's go down this list a little bit further, you know, but you know, remember now, they're sitting on $168 million just sitting out there, and they're still going to tax you no matter what, you know, how they're going to play this game. Multi-purpose building renovation. What building was that? That's $15 million.
I think it might be the senior citizen building.
Okay.
Because it's been under construction for a long time.
Yeah. So budget for it and actual cost, you know, it's almost $500,000 more. You know, how they come in. You know, let's talk about amendments. That get, you know, I mean, that's frustrating me, because you get a budget, whatever this budget is. What's the budget again?
322.
So
proposed.
300, proposed. That's what they're going to say. Now, a month from now, they're going to do an amendment to the budget.
Well, it was funny last year when they passed the budget, right after the budget. In the same meeting, we have amendments.
Yeah.
And amendments to the budget that we found out is actual money that comes from the lapse salary fund.
Yeah.
So,
do we want to jump into that hole yet?
So, what we're doing, and we owe it to our audience, is because we want to go, we asked the question, is there a limit to the amendments that can be made to a budget?
Yeah.
And there isn't.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was sort of like, these are things they don't want you to see in the budget.
Yes.
And I'm like,
and they'll make 1,000,001 amendments to the budget so that you, the county, the people of Onslow County, can't see it. So, and they do it quick. They got 2 meetings a month, one in the morning, one night. You know, it's like, hey, let's get it in there.
Yeah. So what we were asking, once, we're always chasing rabbits. We're always chasing rabbits.
No, we're chasing squirrels sometimes.
So one of the things that would say, hey, funding sources. Where exactly does the money come from to pay for the newly requested budget amendments?
Yeah.
And it was shared with us. It's a lapse salary fund. And we wanted to know how much money is currently held in the rainy day fund / or any Pacific.
And you know something, that's not in the budget either. That is not in the budget telling you how much money they're carrying forward. They're not telling you any of this stuff.
And to give you some context, the state of North Carolina just had their rainy day fund replenished $4.75 billion on the state. So some of that is shared with the counties as well. So, and one of the things that he said how we can get our money was unfulfilled positions. How many government positions, that was a big question you asked.
Yes.
How many of those government positions that is in the budget, the money that pays for those billets, are still unfilled?
Right. And then also, too, the money that the state sent us for some billets that have yet to be filled, too.
Right.
You know?
So where does that money go to?
Hey.
The lapse.
You can't put it in the slush fund. That's
right.
money.
Salary fund.
The slush fund is only there for in case we have an emergency. that we can go to it, and that's their deep pocket. Hey, you need a favor? Let me, let me pull it out of my, what.
I just think there's a lot of. I don't think there's any transparency. I don't think there's any accountability, because looking through this budget, and that was a question we all three of us asked: is how many of the county commissioners actually read this budget? I
wanted to ask that question, man. Because I remember them saying, "What was it? I didn't read the budget. I couldn't understand it, but I approve it." You know what I mean? And if you don't believe me, go back and look at it. And I'll bet you a dime to the dollar ain't half of them read it either again. They look at it and go, duh. I put this in front of somebody, who has a very high IQ, and they're looking at this as, what the hell is this?
And, and while we were sitting there asking questions and taking notes, we were like, how can one department, and you read it, it's stated in the budget, you just got to look at it and see it from 1 year to the next, increase their request $500,000. And that person said, well, that's common knowledge. They just throw out a number. There's no, like the military. Let's take the military, for instance. If I go up and I go to the major and says, Major, I need to increase my expenditures this much. He's going to look at me and go, okay, explain to me why. Show me where that money's going. And if you read this, how this is laid out, there's no transparency.
Absolutely no transparency at all.
They'll give you some false lines and say this is what it is, but I want to know, like, hey, my travel, I've got to send 5 people to California. I got to send 5 people to Michigan, and this is the cost. Okay, yes, they are estimates, because plane tickets rise and fall with the price of fuel. But at least I have somewhat of an estimate to show the major, and then he'll look at my budget and go, okay, this is great. But when you just arbitrarily say, hey, $500,000, and nobody's standing in front of the, because they don't go in front of the commissioners, folks. I'm sorry. None of these department heads will stand there and go, this is what we got. They do that at a different department within the county manager. It was like it was stated yesterday.
And I wonder why, county managers got fired, remember? That just happened recently. Just got fired, man. So, I wonder.
That's a whole new ball.
We'll get into that there in a few minutes. But, it just... looking at the transparency, it's not there. They're going to give you a budget, and then they're going to go out and they're going to try to campaign. You see them on Facebook. Well, I shouldn't say them, because you only got one person speaking for everybody, apparently. You know what I mean? And we're going to hit them with some questions too on Facebook, so maybe they can answer it. One is, why is the county sitting on a rainy day fund of $168 million?
Why can't we find those numbers?
$189 million. We can't find it because they don't want you to see it. It's there.
Right. But there's a lot of other things that go in there. I think with what we heard yesterday, and I ain't pointing fingers at no one, but what we heard yesterday,
we need an audit.
Yes,
we need an audit. You as a constituent of Onslow County, I would reach out to
Dave Bowen,
yeah, and state auditor, and demand a county-wide audit on your funds, what you paid in and lost, because there's just too much going on.
I think we should get Doge.
I'd love to see Doge come down here. You know what I mean? I think isn't White a part of the Doge at the state
Turning
level?
Point. Maybe.
Yeah, but we definitely need to hold our politicians accountable and ask them, why isn't that rainy day fund in the budget? Because when you look at the budget, it all, I seen it, $100,000 going to the emergency whatever, fund. Well, they're hiding it. Where's it at? It's not there.
The biggest thing is that the county needs to provide for it is services to the county, right?
You need fire, yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think Chris Thomas should ever go to the county and beg for money.
Oh no, he shouldn't even have to go to the state to ask for money. It should always come from
But some of these the animal shelter, $4 million.
Wasn't that pretty new not long ago?
$4 million.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Is that per year? Does that cover salaries?
You know, that's a good question. Is that a one-time shot? Is that a, you know?
Because if you go into all these departments and you break it down, because and in the budget, they also have a fees for paperwork. So if all this stuff that they're proposing in the budget is money to cover all this stuff, how do they recoup that budget? Because they're billing the shit out of us on property taxes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're taking all this money in. But if you look at some of these fees, the shots and medical, the go down and file for marriage license and get your other license that you need, there's always a fee associated to it. So they have some money, not all, but some that they can recoup. But every year, the 26 budget and the 27, there's a little variance in it, about $4 million on the request. But again, the 0.062 on the property tax per $100 listed versus the 0.55 that was on the 27th, but now we have the SB 1080 that put a referendum on, hey, stop it, hold it up to the 26th. So what do? They drop it, increase your property tax to recoup that money that they were saying that they're reducing your taxes to. It's a shell game. It's BS. So now I'm just wondering, because at the end of that meeting, not at the end of the meeting, but in the middle of that meeting, after public comment, and then after they get the rezoning, the chair, you could tell in his voice, they were really irritated that the SB 1080 got passed and put everything on hold. And he even said, I guess we go back to the 26065. If you don't trust me, look at the video. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm going to the next county commissioners meeting, and I want to hear these guys try to.
And when, you know, the other thing I would tell you, the next time you see a Facebook post by any one of them, ask them a question. Bring it out. First question I would ask them, where's the $168 million? Why isn't that then in the budget? The second question is, what is the phone number to the state auditor so that you could have them audit it? I think that's a big thing. Matter of fact, I'll post that number up right here. What's his? Who is
Dave
it?
Bullock.
Dave Bullock, and there's his number.
Yeah.
So you can see it right there.
All we're saying is we wanted to get somebody on the outside source that it's not.
Oh, they had an
friends.
internal audit.
Yeah,
have
friends with the leadership of the county to do an audit.
Oh, yeah.
Because, folks, this is not only happening in Onslow County. You've got commissioners resigning throughout the entire state. And this is happening on a national level. This is why we apologize to our audience today that most of this stuff we want to talk about is our budget, which is locally. And one of the topics that came up that really surprised me yesterday was legal and attorney expenditures.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it was like, what is the current annual budget for the county attorney? And I'm just taking notes, listening to the meeting that we had. Case volume. What is the current number of open cases that's being handled here in the county? I'm interested in that one.
That's suing Onslow County.
Yeah. Personal allocation. How many additional personnel have been added specifically to try cases brought against Onslow County?
Yeah.
Unadjudicated funds. How much money has been allocated for cases that are not being adjudicated at this time? I was taken back by all of this. So I don't know what's going on the legal side of the county. I travel a lot. In fact, I've took a sabbatical even to politics for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But there were some good questions that came up in our roundtable. And I think everybody, like Oats says, if you see one of these county commissioners or even a town councilman,
ask them that question. The city and the county are not working together.
Right.
The county commissioners and all the other commissioner or county, little seats all around the county and the different boroughs, they're not working together. They're not. Question is, why do we have them? Theoretically, why do we have the county commissioners? Because they work in the behalf of the state. They work, They don't work for the county. They work for the state.
So for us, I kind of wish the county would work with the cities, because even in city people, like if you want to buy a property, you still got to pay property tax and city taxes too as well. So it's not like it's a double jeopardy, so to speak. Yeah. So, but the other big thing is that we came up is why is our tax dollars going to private organizations within this budget? Yeah. Now it may be coming from the rainy day fund. Who knows? But
no, that ain't came from the rainy day fund. Yeah. That's in the budget that they're requesting so that they have money to pay for it. Yeah. And so when you have all these other private entities that you're giving money to, The question would be when they ask you, well, what services should we, I'll tell you what, Tim Foster, I cornered him in a meeting once. And that was the first thing. Well, what services do you want me to cut? Well, I want you to cut the services that are not giving us any service. You know what I mean? All these private entities, all this other stuff that's not beneficial. Especially outside the county. That's not beneficial to Onslow County. If it's not beneficial to at least 51% of the county people, Heinz Farm, maybe 2% of the county is using it. If it's not beneficial to 51%, it shouldn't be on the docket. Period. Why are we spending money on something that's only going to benefit 2 or 3% of Onslow County?
Now here's a question, and it kept coming up yesterday in the roundtable.
Yeah.
Why is the county holding on to Heinz Farm so much? Because when they did the appraisal, okay, it was $2.25 million.
Yeah.
They bought it from Harry Brown, senator.
He paid what, $600 for it?
Yeah, it was $687,000 when he bought it. Held it on for 3 years. Bought it from a guy, I think, Larry Ellis. I have to get the names. I got them here.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, we didn't have that available to you. Just a second.
But anyway, when they bought that, they didn't do an environmental impact study. But they also, when they bought that property, they had a lease on that property from horses. How long have we owned that property?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have we owned that property? Well, wait a minute. We purchased that. Here's the settlement statement.
Going back, it was Randy Ellis that Senator Brown bought it from, and he paid around $675,000. Held on for 3 years. Had it. I guess it was Mr. Paul was his name was dropped, that kind of approached on the purchase of it. Anyway, bottom line is he bought it for $675,000, and it was shared with us that he held on for about 3 years. We're still searching records on that to get that for sure.
Yeah.
So don't hold us to this. And then he flipped it for 1.25, but it appraised at 2.25.
Supposedly.
So well, no, that's in the appraisal, the copy that you have.
Well, that's not okay.
But he sold it for 1.25 for the county, and we're going, why would he do that? Why would you sell something for $1 million less? Then why did the county just turn around and sell it they purchased it for 1.25 and it priced for 2.25? Hell, we could have made $1 million and got our money back.
Yeah. And
then sold that land, but somebody was telling us, it was shared with us through a story, that the land out there won't perk.
Yeah.
It just won't perk. Underground wells out there that needs to be looked into. Like Oats was saying, I don't have 100% on this that environmental study wasn't done, but
it wasn't done. It was absolutely not done. It's not in the appraisal, not in it. It was recommended in an appraisal, if I'm not mistaken, and I do have the appraisal.
But I was privy to a conversation between a sitting county commissioner and another young lady. She approached him and said, "Hey, those wells are contaminated."
Yep.
And I'm sitting there going, "Wow." And I didn't say anything. I just listened to the conversation. And after yesterday's roundtable, that came back up, and I'm like, "Yeah." And now that it was stated that the contract.
What are they hiding? What is our county commissioners hiding? Even back in the election, I seen one of them, a former county commissioner, fighting for a county commission for re-election. You know what I mean? Yeah. Was kind of funny when he ran again. Yeah.
The only thing I'm going to say is, to wrap things up before we recap, is that you could go to the county website, the government website, and ask for a copy of this budget. But the problem is, it's going to be signed. A budget will be signed by June 30th. Yep. It is by state law that the budget was in. But I was really taken back by the attitude of the chair when they said, "Hey, SB 1080 went into effect, so they can't do the 055."
Well, the last meeting they had 2 budgets already, but they tabled the budget. Because.
Because we were going to go to the last meeting, but we're like, "You called it.
Yeah,
they're going to table it.
They're going to table it. Why go?"
Yeah.
And then they're going to, and then by the end of this month, they're going to sign it and they're going to approve it. They're going to approve it because
have they read it?
Have they read it? See, if they had the budget and they posted the budget online, it's fine. But the budget doesn't have the full story. If they put it online, it's less paper. Put online everything behind it, meaning all the sublines, what the money's going out, where it's going, who requested what, all that stuff there. If they did full transparency, they could put all that stuff online, but they choose not to. Just like the $168 million that they're sitting on for a rainy day fund when the state's only requiring them to hold $25 million. So all that money there is out there for them to, let's do a favor. That's how I look at it. Let's do a favor.
And
I'm gonna dig deep into this even more, and it's gonna continue thing. So, if the next time you see a county commissioner, next time you see a post, ask them that question.
We will look into the historic data of all the amendments, how many and how much it costs. Because you can go back and look at the agendas.
I wonder how many amendments to this budget already they got planned.
I don't know. That would be interesting to see on June when the next meeting is going to be. And go back and pull a copy of the agenda of each meeting over the past year and look at and the year before and look at the historic data of going, look at all these amendments, this is what it cost us. And each amendment has a number assigned to it and where the money is going to. So I think it's kind of funny because as soon as you pass it a budget, then why do you have an amendment? Why wasn't an amount in the budget before?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where the difference between somebody goes, because a comment was said, hey, we're not the military. No, because the military runs a little bit more strict, because, the Pentagon can't balance its budget either. But on a local level, I would tell you that where I work at, the budget is balanced. And to have the department heads come in and brief everybody where this money is going and have them stay within that unless there is a disaster. But we have a fund for that and grants and federal and state that will repay the county. So this is just...
So the next time you see a county commissioner
anywhere,
or anyone,
any state,
ask them that question. Ask them a question. Why are we spending this money? Why are you having it? Not spending. The most important thing when they say, "Well, what service do you want to cut?" Well, I don't want to cut the fire department. I don't want to cut the sheriff's department, police department,
first responders.
And first responders in any way. Everything else, nonprofits and all that stuff that we're contributing to, or private entities, do away with it. Give it to the sheriff. Give it to where we need it. You look at the fire rescue and all that stuff there. Why isn't our rescue squads in the same place our fire departments are? There's plenty of them out there, but they choose not to.
Yeah, the reason that we're so hot on this is because, one, we're patriots because there's so much fraud.
Oh, yeah.
Going across the nation right now.
Demand an audit.
And it's like we get tired of paying taxes. And if we're paying taxes and all that money's getting wasted, then why are we paying taxes? I get tired of paying taxes. Hell, I'm paying someone else's bill. I'm not even living with them.
Yeah. Hey, I want to put this in. I don't want to say this for another podcast, but the county manager that got fired. I mean,
there came some revelations about that yesterday in the round table too.
Yes, and the allegations.
That
the allegations that they're saying is that the county commissioners, which ones, take your pick, I don't know, was asking favors of the county manager. Now the question is, if that's being brought out now, how much of that in the past has happened? How many favors did the county manager provide, previous county managers provide to the county commissioners? Well, favor jobs. I need a job. I need this. I need that. It's not what you know; it's who you know.
I think there's a little bit of corruption at all levels. Well, yesterday's round table,
that opened my eyes. That made me sick.
Yeah, what I took from that round table yesterday about the lawsuit against the county commissioners, there's some truth to both sides.
Yeah,
and it's not for us to adjudicate it.
We'll put the facts out there for you. That's it. That's all we could do.
And it's going to be funny. He's asking for $1 million, and it's like they were so quick to say no and fire him.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, and then it's going to be interesting to watch. So,
but don't forget, ask for an audit.
Yeah. So, Hey, we talked about our Senator Tom Tillis, what a terrible job and senator he has become lately, and not getting the Save America Act passed. We talked about the Iran deal. I think that's going to continue to be a hot topic, like the old game, hot potato.
Yep, and I think Save America Act. I think they need to bring in J.D. Vance and take over.
I think the Save America Act will get passed due to the fact that I read an article about 2 months ago, and I think from Senator Kennedy out of Louisiana, said they will pass it. They will pass it to the point where they can't initiate the policies early enough in this election, but it will get passed. But they're going to attach it to the new FISA request. So Democrats and Republicans are fighting the FISA, and they both want it. So you'll get the Democrats to get on board with that. The reflecting pond, I hope they get that fixed up because July 4th, the 250-year celebration.
They're going to try to sabotage that. I mean, we're getting to the point where we're tired. Yeah. We're tired of the bullshit. You know what I mean?
At all levels.
At every level. On both sides.
Yeah.
It's not just one side, but both sides.
I may go to D.C. for the 250 celebration. Trump said he's going to have a flyover that's crazy.
Well,
But anyway.
Yeah.
And then we said, local again, we apologize for our audience, but we really wanted to hit, because every state and every county has a budget, every town hall. They need a budget, but this one right here, you need to read the budget. Like Oats says, if there's something you don't understand, call out and get answers from them. That's what we did. We pulled a few other experts in who has a good history on working with budgets.
We know who we should have reached out to. Who? He'd been scouted.
Oh, we should have asked Walter Scott. Good point. I didn't think about that yesterday.
I had to give him a shout out anyway. I like him.
Yeah.
I did like him.
That's a good point. We should have asked Walter Scott to join us. I didn't even think about that.
Hey, I wonder if he'd do a phone in or some shit.
Maybe next podcast before the okay. But anyway, for us, SB 1080, it's a good thing. Put a moratorium. We're going to stop, keep everything as from last year on our property taxes. SB 1038, I hope it gets passed so we can do away with the ward system. I understand people saying it's a racial thing. It's not. Actually, it's a better thing. It's called equality across the board. Just like a county commissioner represent the county, why not the town council represent the entire Jacksonville area, okay?
I'd like to give a shout out before you
go ahead.
You're done recap.
I'm done recap.
Definitely want to, tell Laura, keep up the good work. And even Juan at the men's club.
Oh yeah.
And Chris Carr. Chris Carr's going through some medical issues right now locally. We wish her all the best.
Who is
too.
she?
Huh?
She's the president
of the women's club. But the men, you need to get out and support your local club. I don't care, what side you're on. At least support them. But make sure that you're fed the right information, the truth about everything. Whatever whenever you're told something, verify it. Check it out.
Hey, don't forget the men's club's got a good raffle going on. 6 tickets for $100. The main prize is some gun, right?
Yeah,
big finger gun.
It's a big finger gun.
I got my tickets already.
Yeah, you bought them off me.
Soon as I got back from Alaska, give me $100. Hey, it's been fun. It's probably a little rusty, but you know what? We felt so good about the concerned about the budget. We wanted to come in here and share with our local people, and we apologize for our audience outside the state, but I think you guys got some of the same issues in your local areas as well.
And if you got some questions, reach out. You can reach out if it's good, Oats at You're That Guy. If it's bad, Al at You're That Guy.
Send them an email. We'll print them off and we'll read them on the air.
Yeah. If you want us to give a shout out to you, just tell us.
Yeah, and I'll have a new tooth hopefully within a month.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Oats.
I'm Al.
And we're out of here.
Ayo.
Ayo.